Let me tell you something you don't hear in those shiny, move to the mountains ads. Sometimes the biggest threat to your peace isn't a bear or a blizzard. It's a power-hungry neighbor with a clipboard and a platinum bob. Yeah, I came out here for silence and freedom. 40 acres of Colorado wild, a battered old lookout tower, and a cabin that smelled like pine sap and old campfires. I wanted to breathe, not battle. But the universe has a hell of a sense of humor, doesn't it? See, the first thing you should know is, I didn't buy this place for the view, though the view's killer, don't get me wrong. I bought it for control. For the right to sit on my porch, drink my coffee, and listen to the wind, not my neighbor's lawnmower or the city's sirens. So, I spent months patching the roof, rigging up solar panels, catching meltwater in rain barrels, and, yeah, setting up a perimeter of cameras and motion sensors. Call it paranoia if you want, I call it experience. Years in military intelligence teach you preparation isn't paranoia, it's survival. By the time I'd finished my last camera install, I remember standing there, sweat on my neck, thinking, hell, this mountain finally belongs to me. 2 days later, I found out just how wrong I was. I'm sipping my coffee, boots up, sun barely over the ridge, when a black SUV slinks up the drive, slow, expensive, like it's allergic to dust. Out steps a guy so crisp he might crack if he bends. Gray suit, shiny shoes, clipboard glued to his hand. Doesn't even knock, just struts right up to my porch like he's delivering the 10 Commandments. Good afternoon, sir. I'm here on behalf of the Aspen Hollow Summit Homeowners Association. Name's Elliot Brooks, Inspector for Community Aesthetics. I almost spit my coffee. Community aesthetics? I say, arms crossed, mug still warm in my hand. Last I checked, this mountain wasn't part of your little suburban photo shoot. He frowns at my cameras, each one humming and swiveling, watching him right back. Your installations, these cameras, antennas, whatever you're doing here, they're in violation of Aspen Hollow's visual landscape code. You'll need to take them down within 72 hours. I take a long sip, mostly to keep from laughing. You're standing on private land. This is not Aspen Hollow, and I'm not under your HOA or any HOA. Unless you've got a court order, you can turn your shiny shoes around and get off my porch. The mask slips. I don't think you understand, Mr. Draven. Matt Draven. I cut in, and I understand just fine. I gesture toward the gate at the bottom of the drive. That's the exit. He stammers something about noncompliance, stomps off, dialing as he goes. I know it's not over, but honestly, I kind of enjoy ruining his day. Next day, just as I'm checking the perimeter, a county patrol car creeps up. The deputy's relaxed, one hand on his belt. We got a call about some surveillance equipment possibly violating privacy laws. Complaint from Aspen Hollow Summit. I wave him onto the porch, pull out my property documents, lay him out like a winning poker hand. Every camera's on my land, facing my land. If they feel spied on, maybe they ought to stop wandering into my woods. He shrugs, checks the nearest camera, nods. Everything looks legal here. I'll file this as a non-issue. You might want to expect more calls, though. He's not wrong. Before I can thank him, a white SUV appears, dust swirling. Out steps a woman, heels, platinum bob, sunglasses that cost more than my truck. Karen Rivers, president of Aspen Hollow Summit, she announces, chin up, voice pure Queen of England. We need to talk about your military compound. I smile. That's just my home with a security system. Do you have a problem with that? She gestures at my lookout tower like I built a missile silo. Your equipment disrupts the mountain's natural harmony. It intimidates hikers. It lowers the visual standard of our community. Your community stops where my property line begins, I say, and the cameras stay. Her face tightens. We'll see about that. I have resources. Enjoy your fortress while it lasts. She whirls and peels out, leaving nothing but a trail of dust and a headache. But I'll tell you what, that's not fear you feel after an encounter like that. That's adrenaline, the sense of a game just beginning. Morning after, I find a white envelope tucked under my wiper blade, Aspen Hollow Summit logo, full of threats and self-importance. Unsightly technical structures, legal action, fines. Yeah, I laugh, toss it in the burn barrel, go back to splitting firewood. They have no idea who they're messing with. But that afternoon, something buzzes above the treetops, a black drone, hovering, nosing around like a fat mechanical mosquito. I sigh, load a signal flare gun and pop a shot skyward, not at it, just close enough to say, eyes up, buddy. The drone bolts for home. I check my cams later, trace its flight path. Yep, straight from Aspen Hollow. Spying on me, huh? Two can play at that game. I call my attorney, Rebecca Torres, a pit bull in heels and the sharpest property rights specialist in the county. She laughs, says, "You're not breaking a single law. If they keep it up, we can start swinging back, cease and desist, harassment, you name it. Save every letter, every video. Let's build a case." That night, another HOA volunteer shows up with a letter, chest puffed out like he's serving a warrant. I just take a photo of him holding it, tell him to have a nice day, shut the door. He looks like no one's ever ignored him before. It keeps coming: roof color violations, glare from my tower, notices so neatly folded they could have come from a cult. It's almost funny. I start thinking about making a neon sign. Not your business. The pressure, intimidation, endless letters. It's like being interrogated all over again, but with less talent. Here's the thing. The less attention you give folks like this, the harder they push. So, I decide to get proactive. I print high-res stills of their drone flying over my land, mail copies to the HOA office and sheriff with a polite note: "Unregistered aerial surveillance over private land is illegal. This is your warning." No reply from the HOA, but the sheriff calls, says if it happens again, I can press charges. A few days later, who do I catch strolling near my drive? Karen herself, pretending to admire wildflowers. She freezes when she sees me. "Mr. Draven, several residents are uncomfortable with your surveillance equipment. They feel unsafe." I grin. Maybe they'd feel safer if they stopped sneaking around my woods. She huffs. "You're being hostile." "No, Karen, I'm being polite compared to what I could be. Stay off my land." Her mouth works, but nothing comes out. She storms off, and I watch her go, that familiar military itch twitching between my shoulder blades. This isn't about cameras anymore. It's about control. A few nights later, my perimeter alert pings. One camera, far side, goes offline, clean, instant, no power drop. I grab a flashlight, my sidearm, and a thermal monocular, head out. Cold air, wet pine needles, boots crunching on gravel. I spot fresh quad bike tracks. No vehicle should be there. In the morning, I check playback. 2 figures, fumbling with something metallic, just minutes before the camera dies. I zoom in, catch a torn scrap of fabric on the barbed wire. Not random mischief. Someone snuck onto my land at night, tools in hand. Gut says it's Karen's crew. I call the sheriff, explain, ask for a trespassing investigation. The deputy's bored, like he's reading a script. "Do you have faces?" "No, but I've got tracks, logs, broken gear." "Without ID, we can't press charges. File a report if you want." I hang up, that old military fire flickering. Don't ask for permission, prepare for results. 2 days reinforcing defenses, new thermal cams, hidden higher up, overlapping angles. Motion-triggered floodlights, silent trail cams, feeds backed up to the cloud. If they come back, I'll have proof. And sure enough, just after midnight during a test run, 2 heat signatures slip through the trees, aiming for my tower. I record every move, one's short and stocky, the other tall and stiff. The short one turns, platinum bob. "Karen, you have to be kidding me." They start messing with my antenna mount, caught in the grainy light. I flip my radio to the sheriff's frequency. "This is Matt Draven. I have 2 trespassers attempting to damage communications equipment. Law enforcement is en route." Then I hit my loudspeaker. "Step away from the equipment. You are being recorded." Karen jumps like she's seen a ghost. Her pal tries to bolt, but a patrol car blocks the trail. Within minutes, deputies cuff them both. I bring my laptop, play the live footage for Deputy Jensen, clear as day. "You're under arrest for trespassing and attempted vandalism," he says. Karen looks like she swallowed a cactus. "You can't arrest me. I'm the HOA president. Your rules don't mean a thing on this land," I say, and I can't help but smile. As they drag her away, I feel that first hint of real satisfaction. Still, I know people like her don't quit after round 1. Next morning, silence thicker than snowfall. Coffee's strong, views clearer, and I replay that footage of Karen with a crowbar. HOA queen caught red-handed. I upload the best shots, time-stamped, to a secure drive. If they want to spin this, they'll need a miracle. By noon, Rebecca calls. "Are you ready to go on the offensive?" "Let's make it official," I say. "Trespassing, vandalism, defamation, you name it." She laughs. "We'll loop in the FCC too. Tampering with a tower is a federal offense." Now that's music to my ears. That afternoon, I get served, HOA suing me for creating a hostile environment and threatening visual harmony. I nearly choke laughing. Rebecca's response? "It's desperation. We'll dismantle this line by line. Next day, I'm at the sheriff's office, handing over every bite of evidence. The sheriff leans back, watching the videos, then just says, "Well, the HOA's not gonna like me much after this." Karen's officially facing charges, not just warnings. I'm not done. I call the local news. Soon a segment airs, Mountain Man vs. HOA, cameras, control, and chaos. Footage rolls of Karen getting busted. The online comments are savage. Everyone loves a good HOA villain. Strangers message me, "Thanks for standing up to bullies." Even some Aspen Hollow residents admit Karen's ruled by fear for years. "You broke the spell," one tells me. That night, Rebecca files a civil suit, damages, emotional distress, legal fees. "We have an excellent shot," she says, and for once, I start to believe her. But I'm not dumb. Karen's not done. People like her double down until they're buried by their own stupidity. A week after the news segment, Aspen Hollow's HOA is in chaos. My cameras catch the traffic, news vans, angry residents, chaos at the gates. Rebecca calls, DA's office wants to talk. They've opened an inquiry into the HOA for harassment, extortion, fraud. I hand them everything, the notices, the drone footage, even an audio log of a board member bragging about running that paranoid mountain guy out. It's like giving the DA a loaded gun. Dominoes start to fall. Other Aspen Hollow homeowners, ones Karen's bullied, step forward. Invoices for fines that don't exist in the rule book. Stories about repainting garages 3 times in a year, threats and lawsuits for the pettiest things. The DA sees a pattern. This isn't about cameras, it's about control and abuse. I tighten my defenses, more sensors, upgraded infrared, backup generator for the tower. If anyone tries to sneak up here, the evidence will be crystal clear. But there's a weird calm. Until I get an anonymous email. "You've made a mistake crossing Aspen Hollow." No name, just threat. I forward it straight to Rebecca and the DA. Then there's Tom, a neighbor I'd never met, grizzled, weathered, knocks on my door. "Not with the HOA," he says quick. "They tried to rope me in too, but I fought back. You're the first to really stand your ground." Over coffee, he tells me how the HOA bullied, threatened, strong-armed smaller owners. "It's just a power grab," Tom says. "They call it maintaining standards." That sticks with me. It's not just my fight now. I give the DA everything, offer to testify. By the end of the week, the whole HOA board is under subpoena. Karen, out on bail, tries to play the victim in the press, calls me a militarized recluse. My statement goes viral. The only people who need to worry about my cameras are those trespassing on my property. Courthouse is buzzing when the case hits the docket. I walk in with clean boots, flannel, and Rebecca, sharp as a tack. Across the aisle, Karen's glaring hard enough to sand wood. Her lawyer's oozing confidence, but Rebecca slices through it all. Video of Karen trespassing, drone footage, fake violation notices, the audio of board members gloating. By the time Rebecca's done, the defense looks like they want to crawl under the table. HOA tries to paint me as paranoid, dangerous. Their witnesses claim my cameras ruined the mountain spirit. Rebecca pulls up a map, shows the cameras are half a mile from their homes, couldn't possibly see them unless they trespassed. She plays the audio log. Dead silence in the courtroom. The judge looks at Karen. "Are you aware of the legal implications of orchestrating harassment campaigns?" Karen mumbles something about community standards. No one's buying it. Jury finds the HOA guilty of harassment, defamation, and trespass. Karen's personally liable for attempted property damage. The judge awards me $410,000, enough to make my mountain untouchable. Karen's lawyer looks ready to quit law for good. Weeks later, the HOA collapses, accounts frozen, Karen forced to step down, other board members under investigation. Aspen Hollow's residents hold emergency meetings. Some want to disband the HOA entirely. Even get visits from old-timers, Paul and Linda, hands calloused, eyes relieved. "Thank you," they say. "You broke the spell." The DA's office sends a letter. HOA's corporate status suspended, Karen facing more charges. I put up a custom copper plaque at the gate. "This land has no HOA and never will." It's not just a warning. It's freedom in plain English. And life. Life settles in. Mornings for solar checks, afternoons hiking, evenings up in the tower with a cold beer. Sometimes a stranger will email, "How'd you win against the HOA?" My answer, document everything. Never let anyone claim what you paid for. Last I heard, Karen's trying to sell her house. No takers. Turns out nobody wants to live under a failed dictator. Can't say I feel sorry. She picked this fight, I just finished it. The mountain is quiet again, and this time it's staying that way. Now let me ask you, what does justice look like to you? Is it the silence after the storm, or standing your ground when the world tells you to sit down? Drop your stories, your thoughts, your own HOA battles below. I want to hear if you've ever had to fight for what's yours, and what you'd do if someone tried to steal your peace. Let's hear it. Where do you draw the line?